Good morning. Welcome, and yes, copper to the moon. Absolutely wild, wild week on copper. Just amazing what copper has done this week. Low about 427, begin the week, 472. Well over a $10,000 move per contract over the span of this week. Has is pulling back now, but I am not going against the trend and going on this sell signal at all because I've gotten burned this week playing pullbacks. I didn't do a mic check. Can everybody hear me? Uh, Good morning, John. And hope we are too. I had a very bad day yesterday, so I'm hoping to rebound today. Actually, took two trades last night. Remember the trading day starts at 6 p.m. Eastern and runs through basically 4 p.m. Eastern for those on doing evaluations. And but I took two trades last night, one on ES and one on micro Nasdaq. And so I'm up $225 for this trading day. Yeah, it's just been wild, and at least you caught some of it. Yeah, I made six trades on it yesterday on copper, and I somehow, my favorite asset's running, making all-time moves, and I lose five of six trades on it, and it was down $700 yesterday. So it was not a good day yesterday, and it was because it's why you should never go in the go in with bias. I never expected this move to continue. If you look at the daily chart, here's the daily chart. I was looking back at past performance. Big green candle day, it pulls back. Big green candle day, it pulls back. Big green candle day, it pulls back. So when it did this on Wednesday, was it Thursday, Friday? Wednesday, I expected this day to be a pullback day. And so I started playing with the bias, and I wasn't even thinking. I was ignoring longs, and I was jumping on any short signals, and I kept getting burned out. So I ended up, before I realized it, I was in trouble. So now I will not, until this shows me any type of reversal, I won't play a short on it at all. But yeah, this has just been beautiful watching this go up. And I actually found an article last night. I was trying to figure out why it was doing this, and I found an article that said that copper prices are headed for record highs as commodity traders rotate out of oil, according to technical analysis conducted by Bank of America. We think a wholesale commodity rotation is underway in favor of reducing oil longs in exchange for copper longs, Bank of America technical strategist Paul Sierra wrote. He says copper closing about 440 for the week signals a move into the 488 to $500 range. A breakout above that could start a multi-year upcycle with the potential of reaching $733. And Citigroup estimates that the global copper market will reach a 521,000 metric ton deficit in 2021. So it sounds like copper's on the move. And, back to the daily, we see we are almost at all-time highs. All-time highs actually happened back here in May, May 10th to be exact. It hit 488.80. We're at 472. So one more day like it's had the last 3 days and it'll be at all-time highs. Coinbase pool coins. I'm not sure what exactly it is. I know I've done the Coinbase, different Coinbase things when they offer it through Learn. I've gotten that free stuff. Is that what you're talking about, or is there something else I'm not aware of? So that's copper right now. Oops, 2 minutes. That was a healthy pullback, but still, it's pullbacks are getting eaten up. There's been some tremendous volume on copper as well, not normal volume. Copper doesn't usually. I mean, here this isn't it, but you know, night before I got burned. Copper in the evenings my time, usually does I don't know anywhere between 50 to 200 volume per 2 minute candle, and when it started doing this move here, we started seeing almost 1,000 per candle. And it was just, it's been wild. So let's check the other assets, see what they've been doing overnight. I literally woke up like 20 minutes before I went live, so I haven't even really looked at the market. The S&P, where's my yellow S&P? Oh wait, this is 2 minute? This is 5 minute. Where's my yellow lines? Well, obviously whatever that is wasn't needed. So it looks like mainly rangy most of the night. Tight range here, a few good moves. Looks like it was the only big move of the night, and this is actually where I caught that one win last night. Looks like that's been the only major move. Nasdaq probably looks the same. Well, actually, yeah, Nasdaq looks the same. Gold's running opposite of copper. Gold's been blood red all night. From a high of about 1797, it's falling down to, where's my other yellow line? There we go. About 1780, which recently just hit the low. See if it's going to continue downward. About a 16-point range. The bonds, Ultra Bond. Where's my other yellow line? There it is. I've been on a downward momentum since open. There we go. go. So about a point and a half, a little almost 2 point move, I guess. Looks like it's came back up off the lows. Crude oil. Crude's trying to continue moving upwards. Looks like we topped out at 82.30. Which is about, looks like that's higher than we were back here on the 11th. So this is like, I think the highest crude has been since like 2015 now. See there. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, right here, 2014. So crude oil right now is at the highest it's been in 7 years, 7 years. Natural gas. It's kind of rangy most of the night, or most of the evening, and finally had to move up, but it's given most of that move back. Went over a 200 tick range. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities overnight. I still think trading overnight is the best time to trade. I just need to be able to get my schedule to that. Are you? Hey, hello, Jacket Markila. Gotta excuse me, I always mess up names. Thank you for joining me. How are you this morning? Russell? Russell's running. Whatever resistance line that was goes away. So long there. Just waiting for something to happen now. Kind of, it seems like things take a breath about this time in the morning from overnight. I need to look, see what if there's anything economically uh, economic calendar. Well, we have a whole bunch of settlements this week of options today from options, I believe, and that'll happen at Open, New York Open, which can send some prices going wild. So that's about it, though. No real huge. For now, you're seeing me charting. I mark off every trade I would have taken, see whether it's been a win or a loss. And for for what I am mostly what I look at, you see me looking at the 5-minute chart and 2-minute chart. And you see these signals that fire. And this is one of the things I look at. Plus, I look at my other indicators. I don't just follow these blindly. But then I'll mark it off on the 2-minute chart. 0.040. That was been here. So 120 right there. But I'm going to start looking at the 2-minute chart more because the 5-minute chart seems to give me delayed signals. I've been playing with that lately. This was very rangy all night. Finally stops me out there. I would have been, if I gotten in that trade, that would have been a 5-hour trade. It's unusual. So please feel free to say hi in the chat, ask questions, statements, insults. Gold just made new lows for the day. So let's plot out some resistance points here on gold. See if there is a resistance points here on gold. For resistance, we'll have to go back 2 days ago. 2 days ago, it made a pretty insane move upwards and just pulling back since, basically. So for resistance, we're looking at right here. Kind of double bottomed before it went up. Oops, wrong line. Right here, that's our major resistance point. That's still a long ways away. And I don't know, we'll see that move downward. But if we would see that move, then we'll be all the way down here for the next one. And we'll start getting in the back here. So that's something to keep an eye on if gold continues to move down. As for support, I mean, yeah, that's support, I should say. So we'll mark off if it starts bouncing at all. This will be a resistance area. Now, resistance areas are where if something's on a major downtrend and you see it make a big pullback. In this case, this pullback was like 40 ticks, and then it exhausted here, so that would be a resistance area. And right here would be resistance where it tried, and then maybe here as well. So those are the areas that when it starts coming, if it starts coming back up, these are the areas that it could get stuck at. So let's see, crude oil. Send me a signal of some sort. Crude looks like it's been choppy. Choppy. Did send a buy signal here. It does look like we're on an uptrend. Yep, it went away there. Got This candle just opened. So I have 5 minutes to see what it wants to do. It's pulling back again there. Okay, so copper is doing a nice pullback here. Although based on my normal parameters, it would have stopped me out on the signal. But if I use the ATR, which you see these lines here off the sell, well, if I used the ATR, that would have been a 40 tick stop loss. I would not have done a 40 tick stop loss. So, but anyway, I'm not taking any shorts right now on copper until it proves to me that this move has stopped. Move upwards. You can see here, if you look back, I mark off my trades, or I mark off the trades I would have taken. The long was good here. This short would have been a loss. Long good. Short loss. Long good. Short loss. The only short that would have worked would have been this one. And that took forever. And finally it flushed down here to there. There. But while I'm here, that's why one thing I want to check. So notice at 12:30 each night. 12:30 my time. Seem to have a big flush down. I need to see if that's something that is actually happening or if just in my mind. So there's a 12:30 flush down. Where's the 12:30, 12:30, 12:30 a.m.? Yeah, we had this one yesterday at 12:30. This was, 50 tick, 45, yeah, 50 tick flush. Let's see. See if this has just been a new phenomenon or it's 1:30. Okay, so here's 12:30 and it made a decent move upwards. Nothing major. So it's just been the last couple nights for some reason. Right at 12, right at 1:30 Eastern, it makes some sort of crazy move downwards. Yeah, it was nothing the other night. So okay, it's just been the last 2 nights. Those are I look for those types of patterns. Just like for some reason every day at 12:58 p.m. in the afternoon, right afternoon, we have a huge spike in volume right here. See this candle here that spiked down harsh. We have a big move like that every day at 12:58 or 1:58. No, wait, 1:58 Eastern. So and I have to try to remember that because you can see it's this kind of went with the flow, but sometimes it can go opposite. Oh, back here. So for those of you that have tuned in before, you see these buy and sell signals that I'm getting, and you see they might look different. I found out. Now I've been, I've mentioned that I paid for what was supposed to be an algo bot that sends those buy and sell signals. And you can see, let me bring up the NASDAQ since there's nothing going on. And let me turn it on. It was called TrendBot. I was paying monthly for this. And a friend says the other day, I found this indicator in TradingView that lines up almost perfectly to the signals, and you can see that the signals do line up perfectly here. There every now and then there's like they're off by 1 or 2 candles, but for the most part, so it appears this place that's selling this monthly subscription to this bot stole a very popular indicator code off of uh, TradingView and decided to put on a couple other bells and whistles to it and market it as an algorithmic bot. And it's not an algorithmic bot, it just uses the ATR and an ATR multiplier. ATR stands for average true range. So I've been paying for something that's been free all along. And they know this. There's no doubt in my mind that they know this and they're trying to hide it. Because I tried to go onto their Discord and complain, and they must have either the word Supertrend or the author's name from TradingView blacklisted that immediately. As soon as I posted a thing on it, it immediately was erased within 1 minute. So anyway, so these people are a scam. See, look at this trend. This is them advertising the way they advertise it. Nice big write up and make it sound so wonderful that it's worth the money. And people are getting scammed. I mean, people are paying monthly fees for something they could be getting free. So now I've turned the bot off and just oops. I still call it a bot. It's not even a bot. It's the ATR with a multiplier. But these signals do provide good entries off a lot. So I use it as, either way. I use it as I get alerts whenever one of these fire, and then I look at the other parameters and see whether or not it's worth getting in. Like here it fires, and then the next candle, the next two candles, it goes down 93 to 68, 88, 25 points. Doesn't always work, but it helps. I look at the Bollinger Bands, and I look at the SMA lines, and I even look at, where the bot fired. And I'm going to keep calling it a bot, and it's not a bot, but I just got so used to calling it a bot. Well, NQ actually just... So... There's lots of scammers out there in trading world, so be careful. So I haven't even moved my yellow lines on copper to show you the last couple of days. Show you how much it's moved this week. This was my low line. This was my high line. This was a resistance line that just totally blew through. How's everyone doing this morning? Everyone's quiet. I don't know if I'm talking to myself. Which, I can't say I don't do normally anyway, but... Eight o'clock Eastern time. Hour and a half until the New York Open. Platinum. Platinum's also been going down throughout the night. ES. ES showing a sell on the 2-minute chart. Heading down into the Bollinger Bands. Kind of iffy. Not wanting to stay. See, I mean, this made a nice move downwards. You know, this is from here. This was a 13. And so, about a 30, 35 tick move down, but it's immediately trying to come back up. You can actually see on this script where I'll get a buy signal. If it crosses this red line here, we'll zoom in on that. If it crosses this red line, it'll send the buy signal. So it's it's about 14 ticks from that. And if it does, because of how strong this upward trend has been, this probably is just a pullback, and we'll probably get into it if we get above there. The indices are all pulling back. Oops. Kinda. We can look at the 5-minute chart on the S&P. Still not sure where my yellow lines are. We're actually almost at the high of the range for the day. There we go. And the high of the day is our next major resistance point if it starts coming back up. We still have a trending upwards SMA line. So if it breaks that SMA line, then we'll look at it. What do I have it set at right here? Let's look at it. Let's go to a cleaner chart. This is what I have on this script. ATR period of 10, source high low 2, ATR multiplier at 2.2. And I'm not actually sure what change ATR calculation method does on this script. Seems to just make the ATR lines move a bit. So 2.2 is the multiplier, and the period's 10, which seems that's what seems to line up exactly with the settings I had on TrendBot. And I mean, when I was using the TrendBot, I would adjust for a little bit per asset. Like I think the bonds, I was running a 1.6. No, that was 2.2 as well. I was pretty sure I was running a 1.6 at one point. I'm not sure if I adjusted, but 2.2. It's a pretty conservative. Doesn't send. The lower you go, the more signals you get, and so the more false signals you get. If you wanted to go really wild. Make it 0.5. And then you get all these signals as it's going up. Up and down, up and down. Oops. I mean, the TrendBot actually, you can only go from 0.5 to 2.5. This you can just go totally wild. You could go totally 5, which probably sends like no signals ever. Yep, yeah, here's I mean, that would be, excuse me. That would definitely be something, but that would be a heck of a pullback to deal with, trying to follow those signals. And like I said, I mean, sorry, early in the morning. These signals aren't the only thing I use, but they are, you know, they are what catches my eye when the alert goes off. And the spreadsheet that I keep tells me that my entries are almost always good. I haven't been keeping up with the spreadsheet this week, but I need to, so I'm gonna need to catch up this weekend. But you know, you can see the win rates each week have been pretty darn good. Like if I had taken every trade that fit my criteria last week on the Nasdaq, it'd been 43 and 37 for 1,500 ticks of gain. Copper last week would have been 45 wins, 27 losses, 495 ticks. I haven't kept up with it this week, but the first 2 days would have been 14 and 13. So just, you know, one more win than loss, but 85 ticks worth of profit those first 2 days. And Kyo. So we did miss the spy signal on crude, although it doesn't look real exciting. Oh, now it does. That was a nice miss. So mark that off on the 2 minute, which would have been right here. And it happened right at 7 o'clock, which is when I go into my more high volatility settings. So look for a 30 tick profit target and a 20 tick stop. Although something else I've been looking at when we look at these signals, we have a sell on the Nasdaq going downwards. Looking to watch to see whether or not breaks the SMA line here on the 5 minute. But I've been experimenting a little bit now that I have these ATR lines of using that as the stop placement and then figuring out then where I want the placement for the profit target based on, you know, trying at least 1.5, and using that ATR might be something I want to look at, because I mean this would be like trying to get 10, you know, this is only a 5 tick stop loss, so that's really tight, but you can see it's kind of, you know, these haven't been huge candles. So, you know, and if I had done 2 to 1 here on a 5, you know, the 5 tick stop loss, 10 tick profit target, this would have went to profit target within a couple minutes, and at 2 to 1. So I mean that's something else I'm looking at now. Something I'm gonna probably do some testing on over the weekend. Because mostly I use a generic depending on the time of the day. Like this from 7 to 10, my time, 8 to 11 Eastern. I would be on a 20 by 30. But you know, right now that looks huge because it hasn't been that active today. Now it is. I mean, it's up nine ticks right now, but it looks like it's going to continue. Might continue up. It might hit that 30 tick profit target. But I mean, if this works, instead of worrying about trying to get 30 ticks out of a move, you know, if I find out that this will be using these ATR lines, would be a better thing. You know, instead of trying to get 130 tick move, I can, you know, go with 3 contracts for 10 ticks and quicker in and out. Natural gas. made a new low. Gold still, excuse me, heading downwards. What's copper doing? Copper? Well, yes, copper did try this pullback, and now copper might have finally found the high, but I don't know. I mean, kind of thought it was that same thing here and here, and be interesting to see. I mean, you have to think it's going to pull back eventually, but you can't go in that bias. You can't think that. You got to wait for it to actually look like it's pulling back. Expecting that pullback is what got me in trouble the last couple days. So as you can see, currently sitting negative on the gauntlet because of the bad day yesterday. Actually, it's been bad 2 days. I had 4 straight green days, and then the last 2 days have just been horrible. So, that's life. And it's part of trader psychology. And I said I was going to talk a little bit about trader psychology today. And I really got down on myself yesterday. And some good people at the Earn to Trade Discord, got me back to center somewhat. And it started moving on. And they recommended a book, which I'm now listening to. Not right now, because that'd be weird to try and listen to a book while I'm doing the stream. But it's called The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Apparently he's really good in the whole trading psychology field. And so far the book has been pretty cool. I listened to about 2 hours of it yesterday. So it's be about 8-hour listen. So I'll continue to listen to that through the week. And you I get frustrated because I kind of I have great days and then I give it all back, and most of the time it was because I wasn't being aggressive enough, and you shouldn't be too aggressive, obviously, but I was I'll talk myself out of great trades even though I'll see what my stats are, and that just it was that's just how I live life. Oftentimes, my self-esteem sucks. And then this week I said, well, I'm going to start trading more, and somehow I just started taking shorts while copper was doing this thing, and it just never kept not working out, and I kept these biases, and you know, I just I got really frustrated. And if you're trading frustrated, it's not going to work. You try to revenge trade, or you start getting scared. I don't do much revenge trading. A lot of people, if they take a loss or take a couple losses, then they're looking for any possible entry to the next trade. Instead, I get skittish. I end up not taking trades that are obvious or look really good because it just looks like I'm just seeing negative all the time. So trader psychology is something you really it's one of the biggest obstacles to becoming a profitable, consistent, profitable trader. If you celebrate your wins too much, and if you get down on yourself for your losses too much, it's just not going to work. So this is something that every trader has to deal with, no matter even the most successful. I will continue to work on that. We'll continue to work on my psychology for my whole life. I've been trying to become more positive. I've been trying to, you know, not get down too down even on, as things go on. Watching crude oil here take a hard dive south. So is there anyone out there that is trading right now, that are, trading, an active trader, put it that way, and have you had any issues with trader psychology and it causing you issues, and if so, what have you done about it? Okay, crude just sent an opposite signal. Seems to be bleeding down. So let's quickly look at resistance areas. All right, here's the low of the day. So that's the major resistance area. That's not the low of the day. The low of the day is there. All right, but so this is right here. This is the resistance area where this wick down. I hit the wrong one again. So right there, that's resistance. And this could be resistance as well. Those are only 7 ticks apart, so they probably would be acting in the same area resistance. You can see that this one here actually seems to be a very important area. It came within 1 or 2 ticks of this area 3 times before it finally broke through here, but then quickly reversed back up. Tried again here, came back up. So we want to be careful about, if we try to go short here, either set our profit target at low to around these areas of resistance, or just manage the trade to see if he starts struggling here to just get out of the trade. But that means that you want to also carry a tight stop loss. Yeah, DWT. Yeah, that's a good word for it. I sit on my hands, and I just I try to stare at my stats that say, what, according to the averages, the next trade will probably work. I mean, not obviously every trade's individual, but by stats, with every loss, if you're showing that your strategy wins more than 50% of the time, with every loss, statistically you should get closer to your next win. There's a big move down. Big move down to this resistance point. So we'll see if it breaks this. I'm hesitant, even though it's giving me this strong sell. And honestly, and here's what I was talking about. You see here, I was waiting for this candle to close on the 5-minute. But if I had gone on with the signal on the 2-minute, gotten in here at 82.05, and it's already, it already went down to 81.89. So that would have been my 16, I've been 16 ticks down. It's still moving downward. So it looks like it did break that first resistance. No, it didn't. I guess I should draw them out on both charts, but okay. So let's see if it gets in. I did not get in this trade because of these resistance points, basically. Right now it's bounced twice, at least twice, off this resistance. I guess there's support. If you're going down, they consider it support. But if you're wanting to get into a sell, to me that's resistance. Either way. So this is our high drama right now, whether it can break resistance or support, whatever. So yeah, I just trader psychology is definitely. I mean, from beginner traders to experienced traders. Beginner traders, that might be why they give up right after the first or second major failure. They don't continue to try because they can't handle taking the losses. And trading is about losses. You have to be able to take the losses. You're not going to have an 80%, 100% win rate. You're not going to have an 80% win rate, most likely. You're going to be most between, somewhere around 50 to 60%, maybe. I actually watched a video from an actual guy in a prop firm, and like one of the big prop firms out of the UK, who said that prop traders, the prop traders on the floor he was working on, he would guess that their average win rate was 25%. It They just cut their losses quickly, and then they let their winners run, and they're profitable at a 25% win rate. I'll be honest, I don't think I can handle a 75% loss rate. I think that would, even if my P&L said that this was a good thing, I think I would struggle, thinking that could be better. Ooh, gold continues to move down. So we don't need to worry about those resistance lines going up. Yep. So, but we're about 16, 17 points away from resistance from 2 days ago. Crude's continuing to bounce off this point here. It's struggling at this level. Oh, there we go. Maybe. No. Indices are definitely rangy right now. What's copper doing? Copper's kind of going a little bit sideways. Back to crude. Crude's still struggling to get through that point. So why do we look at those points? Why did copper just send a signal? I don't know. Saw a signal on natural gas. What's gas doing? Gas is trying to push back up from its low. But if you look here, if you look on the 2-minute, you have a major red flag on why I wouldn't take this long. Coming down into bands that are heavily sloping downwards. So that's the first major red flag for me. The second one is here on the 5-minute. On the 5-minute, you have a major sloping downward slope of the SMA line. So would be very rare for this to come up and just bend this right back up. It's usually a more, you can see here, as it's flowing, it's usually a more of a, you know, smooth. That's the word I'm looking for. Smooth. Smooth movement versus a drastic 90-degree turn. Now, it does do 90-degree turns at times. I actually saw one on copper a couple days ago that I had doubted it to move, and it did well. But as we know, copper hasn't been doing normal stuff lately. So, and that that buy signal fired here on the 2-minute, but you can see it's been pulling back. Now, it looks like crude did get below our first resistance point here, and it's currently sitting in between these two. So this trade here, like here's this, the sell signal fired on the 5. There was room between here and the bands. There was room between, really room between the resistance point as well. We could have gotten here for a quick scalp. I'm not as much of a scalper, but I'm looking at maybe adding that to do some P&L padding. Try and get a couple, ooh, big move downwards here. It looks like it's going to try to get through that second resistance. So right now, lots of signals. Something's going on. So 93 went down 93 to 86. That's 7 ticks, and then so 93 to we're at now 82. So we're big. Wow, it just blew through both resistance points and the 200 period EMA. So this would have been an excellent trade to take, obviously. So I mean, it took a couple tries, but once it went, it went. And if I would have entered a short here at 720, there, and set this at 2030. Let's see if we get to that 30 tick profit target or not. Still a ways away. Well, it's only 11 ticks. So still heading downwards. What was all those signals? Oh, so we had a spike down on the S&P. We can. Oh, what was this line that I had drawn here? That must have just been an old support line. So yeah, on this 2-minute candle, we saw a 3-point move downward, which is, considering how slow the S&P's been, it's like the biggest candle we've seen. Actually, it might be it's the biggest candle we've seen in hours. Biggest 2-minute candle since last night at uh, about 10 Eastern. Now it did break the bands and it's now popping back up. Just something spooked it and immediately rebounded. Bonds. James Bonds. Yeah, I make that joke too often. Bonds also just did some wild stuff at that same time. 6 tick move upwards, a total of 19 to 26. So 7 ticks move up, and then immediately gave it all back. That would have been a great band play. I still would love to be able to enter a trade automatically if it goes so far above a third band, a certain percentage above a third band or something like that. Because it almost always works. And you could set a tight stop loss. Gold continues to slowly grind down. And see, this is where it's kind of sucks, because you don't know where the bottom's going to be. So you don't want to get into, you see this trending, I mean, the place to get in, this is where these lines get in the way a little bit. Let me just turn this off, because this is all one, I mean, here, obviously, okay, honestly, here would have been, a good place to get back in, because it's sending the buy signal that was false, and then a sell to get back in. But let me turn that off for just a second. To get those lines out of the way. So as you're coming down here, the trend started, say here. So you're going down, here broke, big wick down, broke the band. This would be a good area to maybe get out, well, consolidated. Once you get back to the SMA line, you see it breaking back down. Good area to get in. Again, hits the band, kind of consolidates sideways, hits the band. Yes, I'm trying to say band. I'm sorry. EMA line, SMA line. I'll get it right yet. And then goes back down. Comes back up to the SMA. So anytime it came back up to the SMA, once you had confirmation, it looked like it was going to bounce. So after this candle, get in here, ride this down. This wasn't that big of a pullback. You probably stayed in through that. And you can then here, maybe you got out here as it pulled back, because this is a 14 tick pullback candle. It went about 20 ticks backwards. And then once you see this big red candle down off the SMA line again, get in here, and then you could have followed this down the rest of the way. Just getting in here at 81.3, you'll be up $1,100. And those will be good plays. Oh, I forgot to turn the ATR back on. Here we go. See, copper trying to come back up. It's actually very close to sending a buy signal. Now, you notice I'm using like a almost naked chart over here for copper. Just something I'm experimenting with without all the noise, but I still want to use my bands, so I keep the more noisy looking chart over here. We've been using it. I mean, we've been seeing here. This is a slight downtrend since this sell signal, but the reversal right after that sell was harsh. But if we had gotten in here 47220, we could have got like a 40 ticks move downward. See, whatever caused that move on the ES at 826, it bounced perfectly back up and is now showing strength backwards, back up into an upward momentum. So yeah, it's a strong move off this band bounce, really. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a band bounce. Never even hit the band on the on the 5-minute chart, but did several times. Basically, 4 times breached on the 2-minute. As now strong push upwards. Did send a buy signal here on the 2-minute. We could have jumped in here. And is now testing its high of the day. High was back here at 44.49. And we are currently, if you look at the daily chart, ooh, the daily chart is ugly. Previous drawings. Let's go look at the daily chart on the 2-minute, because I think I reversed the 2-minute and the 5-minute. This is probably a cleaner chart. Let's look at the daily chart again here. Definitely, I reversed them. You know, we're here, and it's been almost 2 weeks since we have been at this level. So next major resistance is at 44.72, which was the high of this move here on the 27th of September. Our all-time highs are back here, beginning of September. Those are all-time highs on the NASDAQ. I'm sorry, on the S&P. Right there. At about 45.49. So we're still 100 points. Well, about 80 points. No, 100 points. 100 points away. Wrong line. So we did just break our high of the day. We can see here, big wick up through the third band. So we'll see whether or not it pulls back here because of the band break. Seems like it's already pulled back. It's pulled back 2 points since that band break. So that would have been a good play. But it might have pulled back now that this isn't going to be an overall downturn. This might just be giving it room to continue that move upwards. What I didn't realize is that we were already on a buy on the 5-minute here, even through this pullback. And so we should have followed this buy signal on the 2-minute. There was a buy signal on the 2-minute. I guess the buy signal on the 2-minute went away. Yes, it did. So ignore me. We can follow the buy signal when we get it. And you can see, we can actually see, although all these, oh wait. That's why I was looking at the daily chart. Yeah, I really need to get more caffeine in me. So, okay, we did get a buy signal. I was right. Got a buy signal here, so we should have entered here. Long position at this juncture here. And it's, at this time of day, I would be looking for probably 6 points. And looks like it's going to get there. 6 points by 4 points. We'll see whether or not it got there. See whether or not I missed another good trade. It's already 5 points up, 5.5, 5 3/4. Yep, there it goes. So that would have reached profit target. If we had gotten it off this buy signal because of the master buy signal on the 5, this would have been a 6-point win, which is $300. NASDAQ did basically the same move. Though it's interesting because it sent actually a later signal here. And it's like it might be trying to pull back a little bit, but we'll mark it. Buy signal came in here, so it would have been on this last candle here. Honestly, I don't know, this time of day I'm usually looking for 30 points, but I think that's a bit huge for today, so we'll keep it at the normal 15 points I look for on the NASI. And I look for that much because for the NASDAQ, you really do need to give it room to breathe. It bounds up so much and down. Here we saw, so we did get a buy signal on Kappa. Let's look at it quick because it's pulling back since that buy signal. So let's just take a quick gander at it here on the charts, the bands. It seems like it is working to go up. Let's grab that trade. Copper, 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 copper chart. There we go. I've already missed the entry by 2 ticks. Oh, there, it's pulled back. Nice. I'm gonna mark it in, I guess. Okay, we're in. In when, oh crap. Oh man, really? Get in and immediately goes down 5 ticks, but let's see. Let's see what it does. I may have made this decision too quickly. But we'll see. Oh, there we go. 2 ticks. It's kind of fluctuating. Let me zoom this in so it's easier to see that particular area we're looking at. There you go. Oh, nice zoom in. Oh, there we go. So now we're up 6 ticks. Real quick, we'll look at resistance areas, which is what I should have done before entering the trade, but you know. This would have been the resistance area that we're just pushed through, actually, or we're at right now. So that's a little scary. Let's see if we can get through there. And then, of course, the next one is just the high of the day. So let's watch this. Maybe if we can go up through highs of the day, that'll be awesome. We're up 6 ticks on this trade. Oh, big pullback, 2 ticks. Hey, Gabe, how you doing? There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm feeling somewhat better. Uh, got 2 decent trades last night. Now hoping this copper trade works out. Copper, my relationship with copper was on the rocks. Hoping that we're on the mend. Didn't want to have to seek counseling. Thank you. Thank you. Now pulling back. Keep an eye on the copper. Now we're at 2 ticks. Right around this resistance point, it's struggling. There we go. There's a nice move back up. Needs to hold this resistance point. Needs to hold this line. There we go. Come on, let's go back to our high of the day. That'd be really nice. Yep, pull back again. So it's not going to be a smooth ride up. That's okay. As you can see, you know, this big move up, you've had red candles and green candles mixed in. They very rarely ever go all green. If they do, the more green candles you get in the row, the more you can get worried that you're going to be hitting a pullback. It's back below that resistance line, so we're watching it here. Take a quick look at bonds. Bonds is looking ugly. Although it looks a little bit more clearer on the 2-minute chart. Oh, big pullback. We're now 2 ticks down. Oh, 5 ticks down. So it looks like it can't. It looks like it's struggling at this area. But it's kind of like, I mean, it's moving faster than copper normally does by, you know, these 5 tick movements up and down. Here's the DOM. It's not real thick. I mean, these could be blown through easily if we get some buyers. And we have some there. Still moving downwards. Ah, crap. So looks like this might have been where we topped out at. So maybe me and copper are still having issues. Let's see. We'll give it a little room to roam. But it is definitely back below that resistance. Yep, down 9 ticks now. You can see here. If it's about to hit my stop loss. I don't know what this is. I don't know why I can't trade copper anymore. I don't know why I can't. See, it's about to send the opposites. Oh, no, it's not. I mean, I can move my stop loss all the way down here. Oh, wait, I just stopped out. Huh. Okay, so stopped out for a loss. Erased my gains for the day, basically. I'm still up 37.50. I thought for sure once we broke, I thought we were gonna continue going up. Yes, just there we go. Of course, I mean, I don't know. See, this sell would have worked if, obviously I had this pullback, and then that would have worked. It'd be interesting. So, I mean, let's do this here. Let's do this long where I would have entered here, but kept the up at the stop loss at the ATR line. Let's see if this would have ended up going all the way down to that, or if we should have just used the ATR as our stop, which would have been harsh. I admit that. That's a 29 tick stop, so that would have been, math is hard. $362, and I would not, probably not have been willing to take that risk. But it seems like it is continuing to push down. Now the other problem is apparently I got in later than I thought, because this is only showing that I would be down by, I would not have hit my stop yet. What did I get? Where did I get in that trade at? 47,300. Really? Wow. Okay, so part of that problem as well is that I got in 6 ticks late. Now it still would have stopped me out. But look at this here. This is interesting. It's just kind of bounced off that ATR line. So keep an eye on that. See whether or not using the ATR as the stop loss would have worked. Why isn't this moving? There we go. And let's go look for other opportunities to try and get some profit for the day. Okay, NASDAQ. Big move downwards. So let's see here. Gold. Gold still hemorrhaging. It's down 30 more ticks since the last time we moved the line down. Again, we can see that this on the 5-minute really started way back here. Now, I mean, it kind of started way back here. I mean, it started here. At, I was still awake for when this started. Way awake. I was only at 8 o'clock, 8:30 my time. Actually, I got in on this, but kind of, I mean, it reversed off the sell signal, and then kind of went sideways, and then it's really here where this move started. So from 96 to 67, you're at, this is a $3,000 drop, and it just even going even more here. $3,000 per contract drop. And these are the moves I will get one day. I guarantee it. Looks like this might try and consolidate. We're about 35 minutes from the New York Open. Bonds are doing some wild swings here. So I'm trying to look here now from that copper trade. If there was anything that could have indicated that I got in badly. Let me check these signals. You know, anything I can. The only thing I can see here. I got in on the 2 minute, and I was into the band on the 2 minute here after this extended candle. So that might have been my only mistake. You can see the copper's now going into trying to go into a sell here, but on the 2 minute, if it's in the into the bands, I sometimes hesitate, and maybe I should have. The other thing here is I could have went for a quicker scalp, I guess. Instead of going for my big move, if I'd gone for just a 10 tick scalp, I would have got that if I got in on time. I was also got in 6 ticks late, so that was another issue. So I might need to start doing some maybe quicker scalps. I'm not a scalper really, but maybe that's what I need to do with copper right now, because it seems like I can't trade it to my normal profit target. I will look at a whole bunch of things this weekend. I just wish I had more hours in the day. Nothing's giving us any clear signals besides this bleed out on gold. Oh, and even that's trying to bounce here now. You see natural gas is sideways. Crude did break this resistance like we were watching earlier, but just like with the copper breaking that area that we just saw, it didn't hold it. It came down twice, and basically, I mean, it wicked below the 200 period SMA, but we couldn't hold it, and is now bouncing back up. Now, will it go all the way back up, or is it going to bounce off the SMA and continue its downward momentum? The oil pit opens in literally seconds. Well, 45 seconds. So that also can send movement a little while on oil. So we'll watch this chart here for a bit. See what it does. The oil pit open. I take a drink so my mouth doesn't sound like it has cotton in it. Cotton iox. There's the oil pit open. Big move down. Big move back up. It's indecisive. Rude. There we go. Let's continue to. We should get these alerts that they pop someplace else. So we see this is trying to go back down and break that resistance again. And the other interesting thing here is look at frickin' copper. If I would have used the ATR as the entry, I would be and did almost a 1-to-1. I would be almost at profit goal. This is a little frustrating. Not really frustrating because I mean I don't know. This is something I need to test out more. I just don't think I'll be able to handle that risk. Seeing it lose $186 is hard. 360 would be even worse. So, but we'll continue to watch this. it's almost back at its high for the day. So we'll see what that does. Crude's very indecisive on the pit open. Complete doji candle right now. ES. So we have the indices now moving downwards off the high. Copper. Copper making a complete fool of me here. Yeah, if I, once I'm funded and have a cushion, I wouldn't mind taking, larger stop losses at times like this, but taking 300, by risking $350 or whatever at one shot, it's just too risky for me right now. But I mean, these ATRs, using them as a stop loss, you can see this, like here, I got stopped out here, excuse me, before this run down, which would have got to my profit target there. But I mean, I would have had to, if I used the ATR, I mean, that would have been over 40 ticks. So maybe there's a happy medium here. I mean, even so, I mean, this is, I would have had to give this 24 ticks of space at least. Which means to get a proper, target at 24 ticks, let's say 25, so there, I would have had to get a decent R to R of at least 1.2. I try not to do anything. I would have needed 1.5. I mean, I'm sorry, 30 ticks. So let's see if it gets there. See if that would have worked. Thank you everyone for joining me this morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat. Ask any questions, make statements, heckle me, whatever you want to do. Just so I know I have live people out there. See that the Russell sent a buy earlier too. Here at 7:35. So we'll mark that off. 85.8. I'm running 87 by 60 at this time of day in the Russell. I'm pretty sure it didn't get there. Well, it got close. So we'll see what that does. Oil is still kind of like just hanging between those two resistance areas we marked out earlier. Natural gas is sideways. And as we see here, copper would have gotten to that profit goal if I used the ATR as a stop loss. And it's now just broke its high of the day. So it came down, stopped me out, and then decided to go without me. Me and copper, you know what? I think I think we're getting a divorce. So this is our new high of the day, and we're now still about 14 points. I guess it's not really points, but four, say 280 ticks away from its all-time highs. So this ATR thing is definitely something to look at. Although using it as the stop, I've seen other people. Excuse me, got a tickle in my throat. And I've seen other people talk about using the ATR as their stop. I just, that can make sense for some areas. Like here, this one, let's see. I would have got in here. Oh, no, I would have actually got in here at 65.30, and then the stop loss for the ATR was just about my normal. So that was great. But I can't right now. I can't absorb huge losses if it goes right to the stop. Although in this case, this would have been a nice win. Well, big wick up there. So that's our new high of the day. We'll move that line back up. It hit it hit 475 even. So that's an interesting area. That's a even numbers are always a resistance area. So that was definitely a big psychological area. Let's look at the DOM, see whether or not we still see 47.5 on there. No, it's come down. You know, it's come down significantly off that top. I mean that. Let's see. Did we hit a band? Yeah, we blew through the Bollinger Band there. Move this line back up. We blew through a Bollinger Band big time. That would have been a great reversal play. Although honestly, with what Copper's been doing this whole week, I would not have played a reversal play there. It would have. Excuse me. It would have been very risky. Now, what's interesting is that we're getting a buy signal now on the 5-minute. We were playing off the 2-minute. This chart's a 2-minute chart over here. But now the 5-minute chart is also sending a buy. But after this huge pullback, I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure what level. There's a chance that this might go back up. It has. I mean, it has 20 ticks before its goes back to its high. So there's definitely room for it to go back up before it hits that resistance area again. But I'm hesitant because it's just not been giving me the moves I'm expecting. But we're marking off, and we'll see whether or not my hesitation costs me. 8:10, 9:10 your time, Eastern. The profit target would have been right now the Bollinger Band. Oh yeah, look at it go. So our profit target is at 474.80. And there we see it blew through that profit target and made a new high of the day. So copper and I are just, I can't trade it. You can see here on the DOM, we're now above that 475 resistance. So there's next major resistance is at 475.35, which it just hit. The DOM froze up though. I don't know why. Bounced off this wall here, 21. Whether you see the 21, but the DOM's frozen. So that's pretty. Oh, there we go. Nope, they're pushing, still pushing up higher. I So it looks like we now, our high is at 475, 4.7545. Honestly, I don't know how to play this at this point. It came down, stopped me out, then went. I would have had to have a 30 tick stop loss, basically. I think I'm just gonna, we'll keep checking back, but I'm not gonna look at copper for now. So oil finally did break those two major resistance lines. Came down on a 20 tick candle, and then it's right back. It's right back there. ES bouncing off its SMA line on the 5-minute. Oh my God. Crude, so big move down, big move back up. Consecutive 5-minute candles. 19 ticks down, 25 ticks up. Very indecisive. But it came up right to the SMA line here. You see it, it's struggling to get through that SMA. We're about 15 minutes to the New York Open. I don't usually take any trades too close to the Open, so I'll just try and find something interesting to talk about. Or maybe we'll take a sim trade or two. I can continue to be upset about copper. Yeah, look at that go. You know, every day this week I could have just bought copper at the Open and I would have banked. This is now up. You know, we opened at 460, so say 461, and we just hit 476. So 300 ticks. You know, $3,750 today. That's assuming we go no higher. And we're probably going to go higher. Bonds look like they decided that they want to go down now. You can see how the bonds definitely respect, on the 5-minute chart anyway, you know, almost always respect the 3-band. You have the break here, this white band, and it not, you know, reversed off the wick. So you know, here the band was at 192.28, and it came all the way down to 192.16. So that is a 14 points, $500 bounce. You know, got out then once it started coming back up. And here, this huge move here, 735. This is a 15 tick upwards, but broke the band and reversed. Again, let's see if you had gotten in here in the band at 93.2. This move extended 3 candles all the way down here to 92.15. So that's about a $700 move. And honestly, it started this whole bigger move here. If you wanted to hold through this pullback, you would be up close to $1,000. You can see, I mean, even here, this band break, little bit of pullback, band break, a little bit. So definitely, excuse me, likes the band breaks. Good reversal play on the UB. For those of you that like treasuries, like our favorite Canadian. So big moves upward here for crude. We do have a buy signal 12 minutes before the open. That makes me hesitate. He who hesitates is lost. So let's look real quick. We have a minute 30 on this candle. Our high of the day is 82.30 and we're at 82.16. So that's only 14 points between where we're at and the high. And that candle totally blew up. So now we're only 10 points from the high, 10 ticks from the high. We're at the last resistance point, which is right here, which is where it came down from here, consolidated, tried to make this move up, and then flushed down. And it's struggling here. You can see, as I say that, it bursts through. So if this breaks its high, that's could be a long. So we'll watch this for now. Going to mute for a couple minutes while I chew some breakfast. And we'll continue to watch what oil does here. So we're definitely pushing up toward the high of the day here on oil as we're 9 minutes from the opening. Copper continues to go parabolic. Here's where we had the line: 47, 476.20, and we're up almost 40 more ticks since then. So it was not able to break through the tie of the day and pull back. Everything seems a little indecisive right now as we go into the open. Gold did seem to find a bottom, is trying to push back up. We'll see if this is a pullback or if the bottom's in. Natural gas is riding its bottom. Russell. Russell would have hit Russell would have hit our profit target if we had gotten in off this sell signal. So the Russell's showing more strength than the other indices. As you can see, the Russell's been going up. Had a little bit of a pullback, but it's been going up, whereas the ES and the Nasdaq have been pulling up and pulling back. Natural gas is making new daily lows. Okay, breakfast is done. Now we'll patiently wait for the open. So the S&P's curling back, trying to come down, hit the SMA, try to curl back up to its high of the day. Now we have both the indices trying to come back up. Russell's still going up. Yeah, we can even check the Dow. Oops, wrong button. That's what I want. There's the Dow. Dow's showing strength. Excuse me, showing strength as well. So we definitely have. I mean, we have buy signals on the Nasdaq and on the S&P, and it's 2 minutes to it's 90 seconds to the open, and I'm just not that brave because it could go either way once we at 9:30. Excuse me. Still got that tickle in my throat. I think it would have went away when I ate, but it didn't. Thank you everyone for joining me this morning. Glad you're here. We just set a new high on for the day on the S&P. Right before the open, we are 43 seconds to the open. So let's sit back and watch what happens here. And 10 seconds to the opening bell. There we go. Big move upward off the open. And back down. Fluctuating. Okay, downwards now. Both the Nasdaq and the S&P. Let's move this down so it's out of our way, but doesn't keep popping up in the middle. So far, not huge moves, kind of flushing things out. 10 points down on the Nasdaq. Now moving down quicker. The S&P still hasn't broken its SMA line on its downward momentum. Nasdaq now is down 18 points. $25 points now on the Nasdaq as it approaches its 200 period EMA, and is also trying to blow through the bottom third day standard deviation Bollinger Band. It's now down 35 points. Pulling back. The S&P not making near as big of a move. It's only down 4 points. So while the S&P is down okay, now about 5 points, but even 4 points, it's $200, whereas the Nasdaq is down well over $600 on this candle. All the signals are coming in on the two indices. See here, here's the pullback now on the Nasdaq, and this is why I was not going to play those buy and sell signals. So let's go check. See if okay, so copper's high hit 47,810 and it's pulled back since. It's about ready to send another sell signal that I'm not going to fall for. Oil sideways at the open. Excuse me. Bonds tried to bounce at the open. No, that was before the open. Bonds are down since the open. Gold, kind of meh. Platinum, showing strength. Since the open, we're down 26 points on the Nasdaq. Russell has these slight little pullback, but it's not doing what the other ones are doing. But the Dow had a big move downward too. Relatively. Ooh, big reversal candle there on the on copper. Off that reversal too, that was a band play. It was not a band play, it was an SMA play, but no bands were hurt. Nasdaq looking like that the direction it wants to take now is to the downside, and as I say that, it pops back up 15 points. Let's see. That's why it's so hard to play the Nasdaq. How quickly it moves is just so yeah, maybe it doesn't want to know what it wants to do, and thus I don't know what I want to do. So right now it looks like we can get rid of these resistance lines because they're no longer really a factor. Natty gas, new low. Once things start to settle out, then I start looking for trades again, usually about 10 minutes after the open. Looks like gold's trying to continue its downward momentum. Going to a 1-minute chart, it did send a sell signal here. That looks like that would have been a good signal too. It's already gone down 10 ticks. Which is another way we could get in, look for signals on lower time frames. Obviously, you can't get much lower than 1 minute, at least not on TradingView. You can go to second charts on other platforms. If you ever want to see something wild, go to a 1 second chart on the NASDAQ. And while we're doing it, we could do that. NASDAQ, NASDAQ, NASDAQ. There we go. NASDAQ chart, NQ. One-second chart. Probably take a little bit for this to load. There we go. Look at that. That's awesome. It's absolutely wild. Okay, that's our fun for the day. Back to the 5-minute chart. And wow. So we can see here, as we were playing around there, yeah, NQ has almost regained its loss on that last candle. S&P has done the same thing. Russell's just saying, yeah, I'm doing my own thing. Copper's sticking its tongue out at me and saying, nah. Well, crude actually just made a new high for the day. Actually, in all honesty, it's a new high for the last 7 years. Platinum falling. So, since I'm bored, let's get ourselves a platinum chart. There it is. Hey, where did that go? There it is. Oh, signal went away anyway. Not letting me have any fun today. So as you can see, this buy signal, let's see here, at 820, we would have had to endure a pullback. So far it would have been good, although it would not have yet reached the profit target. We would be at halfway. think. No. Still heading upwards. Russell. What's the Russell doing? Russell, big pull back. So you can see this is why I wait. You see this, up and down action. The market tends to after the open tends to just need some time to figure out its direction, especially when you have options expiring on a Friday. Now, there's some days the market will just go one way at the open and stay that way. But right now it has a decision. Copper also has indecision. Let's just see. On the 1 minute chart, let's see if we got any additional signals here. So we got the sell signal at the same spot here or there. We got a short signal there that there's no way I would have taken, but let's just play with it because we have nothing better to do right now. Looks like that would have went to a profit goal easily. Yeah, that would have. Looks like gold's trying to push up here. We got a buy signal. Oh, we're on a 1 minute chart on the gold. How did I do that? 2 minute chart on gold. We got a buy signal and 2 minute chart on gold. It is above the SMA line on the 5 minute as well. So this is kind of interesting. I don't have a gold chart. Well, crap. Oh, there it is. We're gonna. Yeah, we got buy signals now on both. We're gonna get into this trade. So we're in a gold trade on the Gauntlet account, but crap. Had the wrong ATM strategy in there somehow. So I need to manage this trade manually. Move the stop up. So let's watch it. I'll zoom in. Oh, that's maybe more of a zoom in than I planned, but okay. We're up 7 ticks, 9 ticks. My profit targets are off on this because I used the wrong. It's okay. Right now, the profit target's at 87 ticks, and we're not going to go for that. We are. Pull back here. Let's see, we're back to break even. So let's go off this and look. I mean, I could look at resistance points on that chart as well, but I'm just more comfortable in TradingView. And it looks like this might be a resistance area, kind of. This kind of consolidated here. So this might be an area that, you know, it has trouble breaking through at about 74.8. I got in at 73.4, so there should be some room to go there, but now it's pulling back on me. Or 5 ticks down. I'll probably cut it if it drops more than 10 ticks. Maybe 15. I'll give it 15. But basically, we're trying to catch a reversal here, and it might not just be ready. It might not be ready for it to reverse. We do see bands coming down, so that's a bearish sign. Still, or not much room to roam up, going up. And I didn't notice the fact that it hit it hit a band on the 2-minute chart. This was a mistake of mine again, as usual. So give it a little bit of room to pull back. Maybe it just needed some room to breathe. We'll see. There we go. Back to about break even. Tries to push up. You can see you can see the SMA line kind of starting to smooth out here. Oh, big pullback. Back to being 10 ticks down. Still trying. New candle. Down 1.2. Yeah, yep. Yep. Closing the trade. I think. Give it one more tick down. Okay, closing the trade, another loss. I should have got out as soon as it hit the band on the 2-minute. That would have been an 80-point win instead of 80 point. Yeah, I wish 80 point. $80 win instead of the loss I just took. Did I get late again? How did I get in so late on that trade again? I need a better setup. I'm getting in the trades late because I'm trying to find my charts. Platinum, meanwhile, is going nicely. Copper is just kind of sideways now. I haven't checked the agriculture. Soybeans seems to be doing well for itself. Corn, kind of a move upwards. Russell bounced off the SMA line. Gold completely bounced back up. My entry was at one. It's at 1773.4. It's back up to 1772.2. So I mean, not a complete bounce up, but you see, crude almost got to our profit goal. We got within 2 ticks of the profit goal if we had taken this trade, which would have actually. I mean, I wouldn't still be in this trade. Once it pulled all the way back here, I would have got out for like I think a 10 tick winner. You don't let something that goes that far towards your profit target become a loser. So you definitely want to take at least 5 or 10 ticks after it takes a certain point. After it hits a certain point. Excuse me. Yeah, I managed this trade badly, honestly. If I was getting in off the 2 minute, see, and now it's back up to our goal, or not our goal, but our almost back up to our entry point. But if I would have, first of all, I should have got in at the better entry point. I should have been more prepared. But the other thing is this time of day I run a longer stop. I run a 2.5. Well, looks like even that would have. Never mind. Okay, so that too would have stopped me out. It pulled back that much. So okay. No matter what I would have done at this point in time, I would have got stopped out. The main thing I did wrong is I didn't notice the band break on the 2 minute. That should have told me let's get out and then reevaluate because we could have got out for 5 to 8 ticks here for a profitable trade and not dealt the pullback from the band break. You can see, if you break that third band, let's see if we can find any other quick. It doesn't break the third band often. Just why it's such a good indicator. I mean, here you had a third band break, but in a definite major uptrend, and eventually it did pull back some. And I mean, honestly, it then consolidated and pulled back more. But for an outright band break, and I should be looking at what those signals were. NQ and ES. What's the NQ and ES doing? Looks like the market's decided it wants to go up. Got buy signals on both the 2 minute and the 5 minute on the ES. And we're at higher day. Hey, what's the worst that can happen? Besides another loss. Where's my ES chart? See, this is what my problem. I need to come out with organization. What the heck? Did I close down the ES? GC, PL, NQ, HG, RTY, UB. I must have accidentally closed it down. Okay. Back to, oh, well, big pullback there anyway. Again, off a third band break here. It's coming back up again. We're going to use the 5-minute instead of the 2-minute here because the 2-minute had that band break. So we're going to see whether or not it continues its upward momentum after this band break. So we have 2 more minutes on the 5-minute candle. We still have a buy signal, still showing some bearish momentum, although we have a red candle. Oh, we did. See there, now we're getting some green on the 2-minute chart as well. So we have 55 seconds on this candle, both the 2-minute and the 5-minute candle. As we come up on the 10 o'clock hour on the East Coast. Get our ES chart ready. Do that. Ten seconds. We're in. We're in, and it immediately pulls back. Oh my God. Immediately pulls back off the open of this candle. Move the stop to give it a little room to breathe, just because that's what that I don't have it set up right. Never move your stops once you're in. If that's where you want your stop to be when you enter the trade. This wasn't set up right, so I need to adjust that in the thing. It's the only reason I moved the stop. Right now we're down 4 points. I'm sorry, 4 ticks. 1 point. 4 points we've been stopped out. Just trying. Just trying to give it some room to pull back. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. So in Discord just said market seems confused, and I agree. We're not getting any momentum either direction really. Let's see what this does. Back right around break even, 1 tick to the 1 or 2 ticks to negative, and then we're 2 minutes into this candle, into this 5-minute candle. 2-minute candle's closing. There we go. So watching this intently. Back to break even. As soon as it gets to break even, it seems to want to pull back. Big pullback now you see on the NASDAQ on this side of the screen. NASDAQ and S&P often run in sympathy with one another, so it's a sign that we're going to pull back on the S&P as well. Let's see if it holds. My stop is at 3 points, so $150 loss to try and get $200 a win. Yep, pulling back hard now. We're two ticks from the stop. So our stop was just filled. I shall be right back. Okay, I'm back, and once again, we got stopped out, and it went back to the original way, and I probably should have been running a longer. Again, I didn't. I was too conservative with my stop. The normal, if you look at my S&P chart, my ES chart here, I have one that says, maybe I don't. What is this one? No? Okay, I don't have, that's probably, that was where I made a mistake. I thought I set it up. If you look at, okay, let's look at my spreadsheet on ES. For more volatile times, I have a 6 point by 4 point. So let's see if we would got stopped out at 4 points. Excuse me. Our entry, long, at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, 4 points. From there, would not have stopped me out, and we will be in profit. So by not following what my normal parameters were there, I cost myself another $150. Now, let's go to profit goal. We'll see. But right now, we'll be almost 2 points in the profit. This would have been a pullback candle instead of a stop out candle. So I continue to make these stupid mistakes, and honestly, I mean that was partially that I for some reason the trade management for this time did not isn't saved. I'm not sure if I didn't save it when I set it up or what happened, but just being too trying to be too conservative because obviously a 4 point loss is 200, but I mean it was $200 instead of 150. So for trying to save $50, I've cost myself. So right now, it will be over 3 points in the profit. So that's another trader psychology thing. I again, I took that loss earlier on copper, and so that made me more skittish, and that skittishness cost me as this continues to make new highs on the day. If I had done the strategy that I use for this time of day, followed the parameters, I would right now be 5 points in the profit and 1 point away from my profit target. And instead, I didn't. And it's, if this goes to profit, that's $300. And instead, I take a $150 loss. So that there, if anyone's newer to trading that's watching, and if anyone's even watching, because I haven't heard from anybody in well over an hour, um, stick to your plan. When you find something that works, stick to it. I'm digging myself a deeper and deeper hole, mainly by not sticking to my plan. So we'll probably look for one more, see if there's any more setups that come along. Oh, forgot I was even looking at gold at one point here. Let's see. Gold was the last thing that stopped me out. That's right. So I've been stopped out on gold, been stopped out on copper, been stopped out on. Yes, so at least everything's stopping me out. I mean, it's not just one thing. So this would have, went to the profit target of 3.4. Let's just see. So if I would have used again, I would have used the ATR line as a stop loss. This one they got stopped out either. It would have been you know, almost a 1-to-1 risk to reward up to 3.4, but it would have been a winner. So ES still hasn't gone to that 6 point profit target, but it did make it to like 5.5. So that would have definitely triggered me to do my trailing stop up to about at least 1 point. So this would have at least been a $50 winner at that point. But it hasn't pulled back that far yet either. And of course, the other mistake I made, and I don't not really classifying this as a mistake. I did wait for that close of the 5 minute before I got in this trade. And if you see here, getting in at the close of this 2 minute, even though it did hit the band, bands on 2 minutes don't play as big of a factor as the bands on the 5 minute. So this would have been, this entry here would have been better by 5 ticks, which would have been enough to get us to profit target. Now, as you see, speaking of bands, 5 minute here, we did hit the third band and we're pulling back. Not a lot, but this would have been a good place to, if you had gotten in the trade and stayed in it at this point, it's been a good point maybe to exit out. And then if so you're not going through this pullback, and then if it comes back up to this level and you're under that band, then maybe a good place to get back in. That's our new high of the day. Our range for the day now. Yeah, I don't have a line underneath. What the heck? Horizontal line. I think that's our low of the day. Yes, it is. So our range on the day now is actually almost 40 points. So if you had gotten in here and stayed in through here, you'd be up $2,000. But if you had done that, if you had somehow picked the exact bottom and the exact top, then I want Drew to give me the lottery numbers. So stop staring at that for a bit, and look to see what's copper doing. Copper is sideways. Probably consolidating before it decides to go on another $10,000 run. And where I'll try and enter and pull back just quickly enough to stop me out. Crude is hanging right around its high of the day, and it's now been there for the last 45 minutes. Bonds, I have nothing exciting there. Nothing exciting on the ag products. Russell's kind of sideways too, but the Dow's showing strength. So the 5-minute copper has just been almost completely sideways. Oh, a copper just sent a sell signal as we're here watching it. It's flirting with that sell. Let's look over here on the 2-minute and the 5-minute. It did break. It's kind of messing with the SMA line on the 5-minute. 2-minute, it's definitely showing some downward momentum now. This could be the start of a move, but with what copper's done this week, I'm not playing any downward moves. I just can't. See, it's flirting. If you see this line here, this is the ATR line. If it breaks that, that's when it sends a signal, like right there. And it keeps going, right below it and pulling back. So still got 90 seconds on this candle. We're not going to take a trade to the downside on copper, but we'll mark it off. Looking for something fun and exciting. Movement down. So this never did reach our 6 points. If I made it 5 points, that would have worked. At 1.25 reward to risk. But like I said, it would have triggered my trailing stop, so we probably would be stopping out right about now for a 4-tick winner. As you can see here, if we had used the ATR and gold as a stop loss, we probably looks like we might be able to get more of a good reward to risk if we had made higher. As we're heading upwards, we'll see. So here's our sell on copper. We did finally get it. And of course it's oh my god. So the sell signal fires on this candle. This candle immediately goes to profit target. Within 60 seconds. Amazing, ain't it? So you want to be a trader, huh? And it's continuing. This is this is probably the big fall I've been waiting for. Yep. Look at that. Even had I gotten in on that sell signal, it would have just went to profit target. Wow. And yep. Now we are down to the prior resistance point or support point, but we just blew through that. So the next support point is the 200 EMA. And I like to point out that it has not been well, okay, it hit the 200 EMA back here. Never mind. So what I'll be doing this weekend? Big bounce off that EMA anyway. What I'll be doing this weekend is I'm going to be combing the copper charts all from this whole week to see where I went wrong. What was I missing on the copper? Besides, I shouldn't have went short, but at all. But here I could have went short and hit $500. So I got to look to see if there's using any of my indicators whether or not I could have refined things to make it better. If something's not working, if something that was working prior stops working, you go through a slump and you're sure that you're not changing anything of your strategy. You're doing everything you were doing, it was doing well, and then all of a sudden it doesn't. That means something in the market's changed. In this case, it was copper going parabolic. That's basically what you call this move this entire week. It's a parabolic move. So obviously market changed and I didn't. So I gotta see what the strategy would be for something that goes parabolic, or at least copper, because most likely it's going to again sometime. It might go parabolic to the downside. It might lose all this next week. I doubt it. Analysts are saying it's going to continue going up. But so you need to have strategies for different market conditions. Sometimes the market's slow. You don't always get these huge ranges. Have a good one, Gabe. See you on Discord. You're not gonna always have these huge ranges that we're seeing even in the ES and the Nasdaq. Though I mean, it is becoming more and more normal as I guess you're getting more and more retail traders. So trading activity has picked up compared to years back. But there's a guy on the Discord that talks about how he's been doing this for decades, and back when he started, there were some days that the ES would have a 3 point range, 3 points, and today it's done 40. But even so 40, you think that might be normal, but there might be days that it doesn't have much of a range. It might be 15 or 10, or anything like that. So you got to be able to play and adjust, I guess, to when things are slow and versus when things are moving fast. You got to adjust between when things are trending versus when things are choppy and ranging. So it's a constant bit of adjustment, and you got it. That's why every trade, every trade you take, winner or loser, you should look at it and see why did it win, why did it lose. Ask yourself why you got in there, and if it loses, if it loses, especially if you lose a couple in a row, why? Were you biased for some reason? Did you not stick to your strategy? Is the market moving differently than what you're used to? Look at why the market, what the market's doing or what that asset's doing. If you do that, then you're able to constantly adjust to whatever it is you need in the market. That way you don't keep getting losers. You keep your consecutive losses down as long if you can adjust. Right now, I got to go back and look at copper because I've lost 7 of the last 8 trades on copper, and that's not normal. See, Nasdaq's just looking ugly now. Red, green, red, 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 green, 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 red, green, red, red, green, red. I mean, this is an ugly looking chart. ES is a little bit better, but it's pulling back. Russell. Okay, the Russell also pulling back. We have gold continuing to try and move up some. So, if I use the ATR as a stop, we would need it 3.2, so 32 ticks. And in order to get about 1.5 risk to reward, we'll need to go 47 ticks. We're at a little over halfway there. The Russell pulling down. Okay, let's see here. So everything seems to be pulling back now. Big move down on the Dow to the SMA line. Nasdaq, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's pulled back, but it seems like it's just riding the 200 EMA. You can look at, see the pink line here is the 200 EMA. Bounced back up off of it, down, up, down, off. That's move this up on crude. So yeah, big move down on copper. Uh, from the sell signal, we've gone down. Let's play the feud. Yeah, look at this. This is the big move down that I was expecting a long time ago. Where it's gone down 71 ticks. I yeah, as you can see, if you look back here, the past few days, every sell signal would have not worked. You know, let's blow this up. Sell signal there would have, you know, and by saying not worked, I mean it went down a little bit before it bounced, not enough for a profit target, so that failed. This huge move down here failed because it reversed by 30 ticks right away. You know, that 8 ticks failed. So I mean, by fail I mean not a scalp. This failed right away. This small move. This failed. This failed. Failed. Well, this one actually would have worked. So this one would have worked. That's one so far. Failed. Maybe. This probably would have worked. So you give me a one in this bull run of copper this week. We've had basically one sell signal a day that worked. This one would have worked. This one would not have big candle. This one wouldn't have. So going back this entire week, you know, that one wouldn't have worked. This one would have worked. This was basically the last big pullback before the big run. Right here is where, you know, where the run started. So this was, that's why I didn't get in on the sell signal. Every sell signal I've gotten in on would have failed until this one. And so now here I missed this move. Now it is bouncing off the 200 EMA, as you can see. Bounce, 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 bounce. So, you know, there's a possibility that getting in here off this, you know, if it breaks the 200 EMA, that could be a sign that it's going down further. We can look for resistance. Here's this next resistance, I guess. Right here. Which is not far away from where we're at, really. It's only 8 ticks. So the next major resistance really isn't until way back here. That's forced. So it would have to fall from this point. It would have to, you know, fall. That'd be a massive crash. Yeah, 160 ticks. I don't expect to see that, but it might. but I really doubt it's going to get back all its gains from today almost. So, eh, is what it is. We'll see. So we're at 10:30. We'll probably wrap up here. Wrap up here in a little bit, unless something exciting happens besides Copper making a fool of me. Gold looks like it wants to kind of continue going back downwards. There's about a sideways SMA line here that I don't need to get through. But honestly, I mean, if it does go back down, then this last hour or so has just been just a rather large pullback. I'm not sure once it breaks the SMA line if you really can call it a pullback. Crude is ranging between this resistance area and this and the high of the day. Just kind of boom, boom, in this W shape. Natural gas is trying to work up from its highs. We saw a buy signal in the 2 minute on natural gas, but it was also breaking that third band, and we had a 12-tick pullback followed by this. So the full pullback here is from 7.1 to 4.0. So that was a 31-tick pullback. That's $310 before it went. So where would we have gotten in? First of all, because we didn't want to get on the band, right? So and we were right. Hitting the band, pulled back, big pullback. So, this buy signal fired here. We can see that it fired right here. This line here, that was the level it fired at. So 5.560. So a good idea if we wanted to get back in this trade once it came down and you saw it moving back up, maybe getting another tick or two above that area just to give it a little bit of confirmation. So let's say 5.565. And from there, we went up to 5.593. So 65 to 93 is 28 ticks. So, and now it's pulled back again. So if you're not, either you could have got out when it hit the band again, wanted to do that, or you could try to stay in and just, stay in through the pullback since you're still in profit and continue to move up. Because your next major resistance point is until here. So this is, this is still not moving up, and it has room to roll before its next major resistance. So it looks like we did get a nice bounce as well off. So that's another way that you could have played this. Once you saw a bounce once, twice, three times here off the SMA, you could have tried playing a bounce play. set it resting in order right here in the SMA. I mean, I'm sorry, EMA, not SMA, EMA. Right here in the EMA. And this would have gave you a good win. So let's check our daily chart. I'm curious whether or not we're in the Bollinger Bands on the daily. Is this our ugly? Yes. And you can see here, this is interesting, but I mean, I'm not sure it means anything right now. But we did break that Bollinger Band on the daily. Let's get our numbers here. The upper band here on the daily is 476.96, and we got up to 478.10. So we broke it well and then pulled back. That would have been a great play. But that being said, looks like we've hit that band, the last 3 days. So see here, the band was at 452.24, and we hit 452.80. So it wasn't much above the band here. It was 46381, and we hit 46365. So there we actually didn't break the band, but here we did, and this is where it broke by the most. So that would have been a great pullback play right there. We could have rested in order right on that third band. Third band again was at 476.92, and it's pulled back to 472 since it hit that band. That's $1,000 or approximately, rough math. So that would have been a great play as well. I love the Bollinger Bands on a daily chart. You can see here, broke the third band, bounce, broke the third band, bounce. It oftentimes even, if it goes straight up like this and hits a second band, it also, but if we just look at third bands here, broke the third band, bounce. Uh, let's see. Third band, bounce. Sometimes you gotta wait. You see it broken on this candle here. And, I'm going all back to October, but you see it, broke the third band here, and on the next day it came down again. But once it started snapping back, that's a 20, almost a $3,000 move to the upside, and it actually started a huge move to the upside over several days. Oh, yeah, and this is kind of interesting. This is last October. Look at that. It's kind of what we're seeing here. The moves are smaller than then, but interesting. Band break, up. Band break, up. So, you know, nothing major exciting happening besides my analysis of copper. But, yeah, 5 minute chart. Sideways now, a little bit. NQ now heading back up. Looks like everything's trying to head back up again. Cruise trying to come back down. We did get a sell on the 2 minute. It's kind of sideways though. Gold also sideways. Everything seems to be moving sideways. And it's Friday, so that's what we might see for most of the afternoon. Usually the next excitement on a Friday is like starts about half an hour before 3 o'clock Central or 4 Eastern. Leading into the close as everyone starts to sell off for the weekend or unload their positions. Definitely not giving us any real good plays right here. So catching up on Discord to see if they have any ideas of anything that I might be missing. Now, because I haven't asked for live commissions on this account, I'm paying the full. Oh my god! And we immediately get stopped out. So I just paid commissions to lose money. So, wow. Why is everything on 20? That's why I stopped out. So a 20 tick instead of a 20 point. Why did everything go to that freaking looks like I still. I mean, yeah, that. So it wasn't a big stop out because it was only like 20 ticks, which is 5 points. So, but still, I don't know. So, we're down $317 on the day. We started the day up 200, so up, we've gone backwards by $500 since I've been on stream. So not. This is my if I finish the day red, it'll be my third straight red day after four straight green days, and I am really close to blowing the gauntlet. I have $800 left in my drawdown. So if I don't turn this around soon, I'm gonna have to reset. Okay. So getting getting close to wrap up time. Ouch. I try to stab myself with scissors. Gold pushing back up. Got a lot of analysis to do this weekend. Got to figure out, what I'm doing wrong and correct it. Thank you all once again for joining me today. Before I wrap up, if anyone has any thoughts or questions or comments or whatever, please feel free to share them. So this is, obviously I had the wrong parameters in there. Just pull back immediately on my entry. Oh wait. But it would not have pulled back enough to actually stop. Maybe it would have. How much did that candle pull back? 93.25 to 84.75. So no, that would not have. No. Or maybe the next candle did. Yeah, it did. So that would have stopped me out either way. Okay. But then went in my direction. Excuse me. Then went in my direction. As you can see, we're now above that entry point. I could get back in here, but I'm not going to. Another buy signal on copper. There was slight trending, such slight curvature down now on the SMA on the 5-minute. Definite still going down on the 2-minute, going into bands that are curling downward. So I am not taking this buy on copper. But as you can see, if we have set an order here on the EMA line, for a normal 20 ticks. Stop loss at 70, 15 ticks. That would have been a great play. So, I think that's going to be it for Friday. Eh, gold's close to our profit target, though. Yep, Nazi's running now. So, if I use another wider stop, let's, out. There's no way I was going to use the, let's blow this up. I'm talking about using the ATR as a stop, but that would have been like, excuse me, extreme. Stop. That would have been a 30 point stop. So I've hit $600. So in order to make this, more than profit, more than 1-to-1, I would have been shooting for 30 points. Well, 35 points. Can't even get it on the screen. And I may go there, but it's not going to go there anytime soon. So here, using that ATR, the better one actually to use here, would have been either you could use the SMA at 22 points or the EMA at 16. Then to get a decent, then you could have done 20. That'd been a 1.25. Still not sure it's going to get there because it's only gone 2 points so far in our direction. Just, when you get a buy signal off of a huge candle, you have that tendency to where a lot of the run was already in that candle and you get the pullbacks. Now, what I could do is, if I feel brave enough, instead of waiting for that candle to close, since I can now see where that buy signal, fired, which was right about here in the middle of the candle. So the buy signal fired here. So if I gotten in here, a few points up above the buy signal, then now I would be 10 points in the profit, and I would not have gotten stopped out with a 10, a 10. So I could have done 15, 10, and I'll be nearing my profit target. So that would have been another way to handle it. There's many different ways to trade, and there's many different ways to profitable trade. I'm just not doing any of them right now. But I will continue working on it. And I will get funded somehow, someway. I gotta hit the lottery and buy or to trade. Seems kind of counterintuitive, though. If I hit the lottery, I probably wouldn't still trade. I might. I like it. I like trading. I wonder if I hit a $500 million lottery. I wonder how quickly I could turn it into $200 million by trading. So here you can see we're almost at that profit target if I had gone in just about, yep, there it is. If I had gone in when that buy signal fired. So that would have been a good trade. Okay, so no one has any questions, comments, statements, insults, or anything like that. I'm going to call it a day. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And next stream, I'm thinking Sunday night or Monday night. I don't know yet. I'll have to think about it. Oh, I'll get the schedule up on Twitch and Yahoo by tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your Friday. Bye.